now. And I'm happy that you guys got to see just a small piece of what I dealt with.
Kardashian is speaking out against Balenciaga over its controversial ad campaign. The brand, which Kardashian frequently collaborates with, released a holiday ad which appears to show kids holding teddy bears in bond.
$9.9 million worth of coke was all packaged neatly into Skims products, and then this particular person was caught.
So it looks like Kim Kardashian is finally going to be facing RICO charges after she was incriminated in a massive $10 million substance bust all the way in the UK. Apparently, Kim and her family are hands deep in multiple illegal businesses with cartels in and out of the US, and the FBI have been investigating them for months. Ray J was right about that RICO case. It turns out they started looking into them after Kanye made several allegations, accusing the whole family of being involved in CT and illegal escort distribution. Mind you, they were literally name-dropped in the just-released Epstein files for their involvement in multiple crimes, including laundering $600 million and forcing women into being surrogates against their will. It all makes sense now why they tried to lock Kanye up in a facility and load him up with lithium when he started speaking against them. Okay, so this entire mess went down just a few days ago when news broke that a truck driver had been sentenced to prison for smuggling $9.4 million worth of white powder in a shipment of Kim Kardashian's Skims. According to reports, the man was driving a truck carrying 28 pallets of Skims from the Netherlands when border officials stopped him at a port. He said he agreed to transport the substances for €4,500. Now, Kim hasn't been directly linked to the case, at least not yet. However, some receipts have been floating around that seem to suggest Kim has her hand deep in these shady businesses. In fact, it's not just her. The entire Kardashian clan allegedly has a hand in it too. And guess what? Kanye actually tried warning us about it. But as usual, no one took him seriously. In fact, right after the discovery was made, he made a quick post and delete on Instagram where he said, "How do y'all think she got this rich?" along with a shady laughing emoji. Now mind you, not too long ago, he made multiple tweets accusing Kim and her family of allegedly being involved in servicing vulnerable women to rich men for escort services. The Kardashians are ex-workers, and they ex-sell all of the black children they strategically produce. Kim Kardashian is a ex-distributor. He also added in a follow-up tweet, "The grandmother signed for the X-tape. I am 100% convinced that my children are in a seat ring." At the time, it sounded like he was being a bitter baby daddy, but looking back now, he was actually onto something. In fact, right after this, people did some digging and found several shady businesses the Kardashians were allegedly involved in that were raking them even more money than the businesses they claim publicly, including a church. Yes, you heard that right, a church. So Kris Jenner founded a church back in 2009 called California Community Church. On the surface, this looks like a good thing. But once you hear the details of what's going on in this church, you'll see there's more to it than just wanting to worship the Lord. You see, the church requires members to pay $1,000 a month and tithe 10% of their income as donations. Now in California, churches are exempt from paying federal, state, and local taxes. So not only are the Kardashians getting a tax write-off with these tithes, but the money is really just going back into the family, since the church is owned by Kris. Oh, but it gets even worse. Kim's associate Lou Taylor, who also happens to be an associate of Diddy and one of the people linked to Britney Spears' conservatorship, is reportedly a board member of the church. And it has been rumored that the Kardashians have allowed Lou to use the church as a cover-up to pay off victims in the form of charity donations. Basically, the church donates money to these victims, but the money is labeled as a charity donation, making it hard for the police to flag it as a payoff.
So, Lou Taylor apparently is paying off, allegedly, some of Diddy's victims from this slush fund through some church fund.
And here's where it gets really interesting. People are also speculating that Kim allegedly teamed up with Lou at some point to try and get Kanye placed under a conservatorship, similar to what was allegedly done to Britney. The reported plan involved getting doctors to diagnose him with conditions he didn't actually have, which would then be used as grounds to put excessive amounts of lithium into his system, ultimately pushing him into a genuine mental breakdown that they could then use against him.
And is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah.
So look at what they did.
Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now.
Yeah.
You can see there's not much of her left.
I'd like to sue my family, to be totally honest with you. I also would like to be able to share my story with the world and what they did to me, instead of it being a hush-hush secret to benefit all of them. I want to be able to be heard on what they did to me. By making me keep this in for so long is not good for my heart. I've been so angry and I cry every day. It concerns me. I'm told I'm not allowed to expose the people who did this to me. For my sanity, I need you, to the judge, to approve me, do an interview where I can be heard on what they did to me. And actually, I have the right to use my voice and take up for myself. My attorney says I can't, it's not good. I can't let the public know anything they did to me, and by not saying anything is saying it's okay. I don't know what I said here. It's not okay. I don't want to interview. I'd much rather just have an open call to you for the press to hear, which I didn't know today we're doing.
Oh, and remember what I said earlier about the Kardashians being on the Epstein files? Well, this isn't just some rumor. It's actually confirmed. It turns out that one of Epstein's victims submitted a complaint in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, alleging connections between Ghislaine and the Kardashian family. The complainant claims Ghislaine Maxwell had a close relationship with the Kardashian sisters, that they assisted in the use of her identity, and that her eggs may have been used for pregnancies against her will. It also alleges the sisters used the complainant's name and funds to promote business ventures, including a $600 million deal involving Kylie's Cosmetics. Now, I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people weren't really that surprised to see Kim and her family in those files. If there's one thing they've been consistent at, it's always doing the shadiest things. Some of you may not know this, but Kim was slammed a couple of years ago when she participated in a PDF file-inspired Balenciaga photo shoot, featuring little people posing with teddy bears in what appeared to be bondage. She initially tried to pay people dust when they were dragging her, but once it started affecting her sponsorship deals, she released this statement that said, "As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by the disturbing images. The safety of little people must be held with the highest regard, and any attempts to normalize little people's mistreatment of any kind should have no place in our society, period."
Balenciaga thing. It was like, everyone was like, why aren't you speaking out? Why aren't you speaking out? And I'm like, wait, I'm not in this campaign. I don't know what's happening. Let me take a minute to research this. And then as soon as I saw what everyone was seeing on the internet and the reality of the situation, I completely spoke out and gave my thoughts on child and completely denounced it. But because I didn't say, "F you, Balenciaga," that's it, people got mad at that. So it's like, they're mad if I don't speak out. They're mad if I do speak out.
Girl, bye. Anyway, going back to Kanye, it looks like Kim didn't really like the fact that he wasn't getting on board with the alleged crimes she and her family were getting up to, so she began making moves to silence. Apparently, it didn't just end at the lithium. There was a whole orchestrated plan behind the scene to completely shut Kanye up. So back in 2016, he was hospitalized at UCLA Medical Center against his will after a breakdown. Kanye later recalled the experience as traumatic. He described his bipolar episodes as hyper-paranoid, and that the medication he was given for his bipolar disorder, like lithium, blunt his emotions and creativity. Kanye's former campaign manager, Milo Yiannopoulos, claimed that Kanye's dentist, Thomas Connolly, got Kanye hooked on nitrous oxide, and alleged that Connolly tried to destroy Kanye's mental health so that Connolly and his business associates could extract millions of dollars from him, going so far as to call Connolly a dangerous person who targets African-American celebrities.
Kanye West is planning to sue his dentist for allegedly getting him addicted to laughing gas. The rapper's legal team claims Dr. Thomas Connolly gave West nitrous oxide during cosmetic dental treatments. The complaint alleges Connolly also taught West how to self-administer the gas and sent large tanks of it to his home. West claims he sustained neurological damage due to prolonged exposure to the gas. Connolly has not commented.
Kanye also posted a threatening message he got from Harley Pasternak, seemingly threatening to lock him up in a facility again if he didn't stop exposing what he knew about Kim and her family. The message read, "I'm going to help you in one of a couple ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use curse words, and everything that is discussed is based on fact, and not some crazy stuff that a dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to Zombieland forever. Playdate with the kids just won't be the same." Now, if all this is true, then Kim better start running like Kanye is warning her to do, because according to reports, the FBI is not going to stop digging into her till she's locked up. She's been involved in way too many shady businesses to be totally innocent. As usual, people had their thoughts, like this person who said, "Kardashians are next up for the chopping block after Jay goes down." Remember Kanye said they were involved in CT? This is how all these networks operate. The brand is just a face and a way to launder money and commit crimes. I smell RICO. She didn't name it Skim for no reason. They always say it in plain sight. Skimming money. But now, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Kanye West warning Kim to run for her life? And do you really think this is the beginning of the end for Kim and her family? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.